Hi guys, it's Amy from Little Farm Quilts. Hello Stitchy peeps. If you're new, thanks for watching. If you are not new, welcome back. It's been a hot minute, I think. I think it's been 2 weeks. It may have been a little more than that. I feel like I say this every time, but to say our life is a little nuts right now is a little bit of an understatement. You have to ignore I have two things working for me today. Number one, I have humidity hair because here in upstate New York, it is humid as all get out. It is today going to be 85. It's going to be getting into the 90s, and in, I guess, early week to midweek, it's going to be like 96, 97 temp. Probably with it feels like at over 100. So I have humidity hair. I also have been out running errands with the hubby in my Jeep. I have a Jeep Wrangler with the top down. So forgive the hair. There's nothing I can do to get it to stay up into the clips. At this stage, it's just going to do what it's going to do. And at my age, I just decided to let it do what it wants because I'm tired of fighting it. We live in rural upstate New York, so I'm going to clean my glasses while we talk. The farmers have been in their fields the last few days for 12, 14 hours a day, which is awesome. We love living in the country, but my allergies have kicked up in a big way. I struggled with an on and off migraine yesterday. Which I do struggle with headaches at times, but this, I think mine are allergy related. Anyway, and I've had that problem for the last few weeks, struggling with some headaches and just generally not feeling well. All allergy related. It has nothing to do with COVID, and I'm a healthcare worker, so I do get screened. It's purely allergies and bad sinuses, and I don't want to have the surgery to fix everything. But anyway, so I'm sorry. It's been a little bit. I have been struggling with feeling a little bit under the weather and the stress of work and just being busy here at the house. As you guys know, if you've followed me for any length of time, we have 4 adult children. We have 4 grandbabies. I say babies, they range from 8 to 2. 8 years old to 2 years old. We have some geriatric dogs that we have been in and out of vet with this week and trying some new medication to try to help one of them. And we're in that stage of life. So sometimes things get a little hectic, things get a little crazy. No different than when our kids were young and we were going in all different directions trying to do things with them. It is Saturday, July 4th. Happy Independence Day. I love today. I'm a very patriotic person. I'm a veteran, which I don't normally just throw that out there, but it's Independence Day. Freedom is not free. People fought so that we can have the freedom to say whatever it is we wish without persecution. So, happy July 4th. I hope you guys have plans with your family today. We are so my husband has a group of school friends that he's had since he was in high school. Those guys are coming over today for a little bit so they can do some guy bonding stuff. And then we're going to have a small picnic with my daughter, son-in-law, and my oldest 2 grandchildren. We're going to swim in the pool. I'm probably going to stitch out on the deck. Maybe have a bonfire, maybe s'mores. Yeah, it'll be fun. Hopefully the kids have fun. And I get some stitching in. Yesterday we were able to go see some friends of ours that we hadn't seen in a couple of years. We had been neighbors for a long time, over a decade. Then we had moved to this house. They had moved to a few towns over, which in upstate New York, a few towns over means they're now a 30-minute drive from us or a 25-minute drive or something like that. So we just hadn't been able to get our schedules aligned to get together. We were able to do that yesterday, see them and all of their kids, which they're all getting big now, so, you know, that makes you feel kind of old, I guess. So far it's been a good weekend, and I've gotten a lot of stitchy time in. I had some serious stitchy goals for this weekend because I had a 3-day weekend from work. So I had some serious stitchy goals, and I'll tell you all about them. Part of them are Jolly July, and then I have other things going on as well. I don't have any sewing to show today. The sewing that I've been working on is for customers, so I'm not going to show that because I don't want them to see it before it's done. I've done a lot of cross stitching, done some knitting. I brought one knitting project to show you. I do currently have 3 in the works. I have an Afghan, a pair of socks, and a scarf. I brought the sock down for you to see some progress today. I have a little bit of haul, but I gotta tell you, not a ton. Not a ton. Not a ton considering, you know, what I used to, and I have 3 finishes to show you guys. So, which I should. It's been a while, right? So, I guess let's do some finishes first. I see how the other floss tubers show previously finished things. I keep forgetting to bring one down with me. I've shown a couple before, but now they're all hanging upstairs. So, yeah. I don't have any previous finishes. Well, I have previous finishes, not previous FFO. I have, excuse me, a whole roll of finished cross stitches here. I guess let's look and see what's in here. I have one of the snow, well, I probably have several snow villages in here. Nope, just one. Looks like one. This is the popsicle cart. I have the winter whirligig that I finished, which I guess I showed you. I started that during Mania. This is one of the chock full jars. Boo. This is Snowy, the jar. This is 4 Seasons. I think this is by Little House Needleworks. This is a Tiny Modernist, one of the Merry Christmas signs. And the Boo jar. So I guess I don't have a ton here. But I have some. So there you go. Previous finishes. I do plan when we get a rainy day, which in July in New York is not very common. I do plan to come down and have a finishing day and finish some of those up, plus some other things I have finished. So, my husband doesn't even know my filming, so he may pop right in, right there, this door, right here. If he does, that's okay. You guys have seen him before. So I have a finish. This is not technically finished yet. It's a sew along, stitch along with Fat Quarter Shop. It is Boomtopia. The reason it is a finish for me is because I'm not a fan of the border. The border's fine. It's just not my style. So I am leaving the border off, and I'm going to border it with some nice trim instead. So I finished. That's washing it out pretty good. There's actually a bowl here that you guys, that doesn't even show up on camera. It may show up when I upload the film. It's a light blue bowl. That was the last part. It's actually one of those picking containers that you get at the berry stands. So that's done. I'm pretty sure I know how I'm going to finish this. I'm always angrily challenged, right? But I haven't yet. So that's going to go in that roll of finished objects. So we'll stick it back over here for now. The other thing I want to do will lead us into whips. So the 2 finishes I want to show you will lead me into whips. I and a friend of mine and my mom have been working on Deck the Halls by Blackbird Designs. We have been enamored with these since we saw Kindred Stitcher's bowl of these strawberries on YouTube. And we've all really been wanting to do the same. So we've collected all the trims and the finishing stuff for them. And we weren't not able to get all of the called for fabrics, but we've gotten most of them, and the others are fairly close. So I have 2 finished. Let's see, I don't remember the names of these ones. The first one that I finished, hold on, was the first day of Christmas, I believe it is. Hold on, let me find the name. I should have found it before first day of Christmas. I used some of the called for. I used some of my own plugins out of my stash. But I think that turned out lovely. And we're stitching all of these, and then we're going to finish them all together. So we're going to finish all 6 of them with us all together. This is stitched on 36 count doubloon by Picture This Plus. And like I said, it's most of the called for DMC. I've substituted in some of Classic Colorworks in for the DMC. I don't have a lot of Weeks Dye Works here, which is what this calls for. So I basically just went to my floss wall, which you can see right there. That's a whole floss wall. And I just kind of picked colors out of my stash, and I love how it turned out. I think the bird's a little brighter than the original pattern, but I think it turned out really nicely, and I'm happy with it. So I've gotten that one done. Then the other one I got done was, I should show you the pictures of these. It came upon a midnight clear, so this is the picture. And I did this one, except I figured out when I was ironing it that I never did the back stitch down the side of the house, so I will have to add that in. It's a little washed out on my camera. Let me see if I can fix that. Let's see, it's just toning me down. Yeah, see, that's better. You can see it a little better now. But I've got 2 of them done out of the 6, and I'm right on target. I'm generally getting 1 done a week, which is what we've been targeting, although technically I should have started a 3rd one on Thursday, and we are on Saturday, and I will probably start it sometime today. But there's one. So now we're segueing right into whips. Lindy Stitches. So Stephanie Webb at Lindy Stitches, she is doing a stitch along. It's a mystery stitch along. I'm playing with my light here, so watch it. The camera's gonna see if that helps. Maybe. Hello. Mystery stitch along. It's 3 weeks long. Week 1 was last week. If you want to take part in the stitch along, then all you have to do is email her. Her contact is in her bio information, both on Instagram and on her website. Part 1 came out a week ago. Part 2 came out yesterday. I have not stitched part 2 yet, but I have part 1, and I substituted blue for her dress. And you guys are probably have seen this on social media somewhere. Very intriguing pattern, and I'm excited to be stitching it. So that is her. Isn't she cute? She's super cute. Today I'm stitching some words, so I'm going to work on her. That's one of my goals this weekend, is to get her caught up, start the other strawberry. One of my other goals this weekend for Jolly July. So Jolly July, what I decided to do this year, and I talked to you guys about it too, so you should be quite aware. Let me try to get the cover sheet of this. This pattern I bought last year. It is called, it's from Tiny Modernist. It is called Christmas Calendar. And this is the pattern. It's a PDF. I bought at Walmart last year a red barn, and on the red barn it has a chalkboard in the center where you're supposed to write how many days till Christmas. What I really want to do is finish 25, these numbers, this month, and then have them finished so I can use these with magnets and washers on that side. So my goal was to get one done a day for the month of July, and there's a little leeway because there's more than 25 days in July, but that was my Jolly July plan. I already had this one done, and I don't know why I started with 9. I think it was because I wanted to stitch the mittens. I'm using kind of my own colors, not necessarily, I'm not even looking at what's called for, so I couldn't even tell you if it calls for some of what I'm using. I guess I should look. I'm using what I want to use. They use DMC and Anchor. I'm doing all Classic Colorworks, and I'll have to tell you, I'll go through it. I have colors pulled that are in this bag that I'm pulling from. So this was 9. Like I said, I had that completed before. I finished 8 this weekend. And I'm working on 7, because now I'm working backwards to 1, because I'm not sure why I started with 9. And this is a little snowman, so that's 7. My plan was to get 1 a day, which means I should have 7 done and 6 done today. We'll see how the day goes. But that's my goal, to 1 a day. They don't take very long to stitch. The problem that I have is I get interrupted a lot. So if I can just sit out on my deck and stitch for a while today, I have all the squares kind of pre-cut. It's on 28 count. It's on a 28 count linen. They're all pre-cut. I think I cut these in 5-inch squares. But they're all pre-cut. And the colors that I have pulled for these are tartan plaid. And I got to pull a couple more, I got to be honest with you. Honeycomb. Jolly Holly, which is kind of a sagey green. Ribbon Red, which is a really bright red. Black Coffee. I think this is, yep, Muddy Puddle. This is Bamboo. And then I have steamed broccoli. I'm going to pick a lighter blue, a pink, and an orange and add them to this bag, this project bag. And kind of keep going from there. But my goal is to have all 25 of them done by the end of July. We'll have to figure out if that's going to work or not. I've been trying to focus in my stitching. What I didn't bring down here was I also have Jack Frost Tree Farm from Little House Needleworks. I have all of them. I'm stitching them all in one piece, and I did get some, I have that on my scroll frame lap stand. I have been working on that a little bit. Not a ton of progress, but a little bit. And I probably will show that to you next time. And the other project that I have out that I have not worked on this week was Kringles. I've worked on Kringles a little bit, but not much. That's also on scroll rods. And those two interchange out of my KZ Creations lap stand. Sometime I'll do a stitch with me again and show you how I stitch on my lap stand, because it's kind of evolved. I've also gotten a floor stand now, which is just a KZ Creation floor stand. Nothing obnoxiously expensive. My chatelaine, my mushroom and fur chatelaine, is the sole occupier of that stand because I have it on 30-inch scroll rods. And I'll show you that in a second. So my stitching has kind of evolved. There are times when I use both hands, and there are a lot more times that I use like the sewing method with one hand underneath, and I just have the sewing method from the top. But I do like the bigger pieces on the scroll rods. I find them easier to manage that way. So, and also if it's a big piece, I find that holding a big chunk of fabric in my hand sometimes gets painful, and I choose not to do that. So without further ado, my next whip that I'm going to show you is my Mushroom and Fern chatelaine. I've only worked on it a little bit, and I will be honest, every time I've worked on it so far, I've had to rip something out. Mainly because I didn't read the directions properly. So, my plan is to slow down, read directions a little better, and I will make more progress. I also plan on stitching this today. So I'm kind of going to go in order of my goals today, and it's already 11:30, so these are pretty lofty goals, is to at least finish the snowman, day 7 of the calendar, start day 6, stitch part 2 of the Lindy Stitches sale, and what else? There's something else. I've already done my Independence Day start, which I will show you soon, and to stitch on chatelaine. So most of my stitching time is probably going to go on the chatelaine because I really enjoy stitching it. So I'm going to put it close so you guys can see, let the camera focus. It is beautiful, and this picture really doesn't do it justice. What really sold me was I was watching Lindy Stitches, Stephanie on Lindy Stitches, her YouTube, when I first found her, she showed this chatelaine, and I've been following her since. And just seeing it come to fruition I just wanted to do it. It is probably the most money I have ever spent on one project ever. There's a lot of silks in it. There's a lot of beads in it. It's a large piece with a large piece of fabric. But I had never stitched with silks before, really much. And it's a lot of different stitches. It's not just cross stitches. So hold on. Let me take a sip of coffee, and then we'll get to that. I feel like I'm talking 100 miles an hour. We're only 22 minutes in. Sorry, guys, if I am. So I've left it on the floor stand. So hopefully what's going to happen is I'm going to move my stool out of the way, and we're going to lift it up in front so that I can talk about it. So this is the Mushroom and Fern chatelaine, and this is my progress so far. It doesn't look like much, but I think since last time you've seen it, I've done all these. I had to rip all these out once. I also, these darker bits here, I had to rip out once. But I'm hoping to get these starbursts done in all 4 corners and then move on from there today. So I'm hopeful for more progress. Now let's pull my stool back and get situated. My last whip that I'm going to show you today, I have to preface this a little bit. So I had one unicorn chart, just one, and the problem with that unicorn chart is that it's out of print and has been out of print for a while, but I absolutely loved it. So I had spent a lot of time looking and searching, and looking and searching, and I finally was able to convince somebody to loan me a copy. I bought a copy, I have a copy of it. I don't know how I feel about that, quite honestly, because the chart is out of print. If I could buy the chart from the artist, I would, without doubt. But the problem is you can't, and it's not available anymore. And I didn't even print a very good representation of it, but I was able to get a copy of Queen of Freedom by Mirabilia. So I printed a black and white copy. And I started her today on Independence Day. And I am stitching her on 28 count natural linen by Witch Help. And I didn't get a huge start today. Let me see if I can get this unfolded. Just the white. Started in her dress, the white. And I may stitch on her more today, I may not. It really depends on how I feel going through the day, how many people show up at my house, because we have a pool and it's hot and all of that. I know everybody's going to have thoughts on stitching a copy of a pattern. Like I said, if it was still available for me to buy, I would buy it. And I would buy it at a pretty penny, considering I paid dearly for the chatelaine pattern. The bottom line is you can't. And if people are willing to sell me their copy, normally I had to tell you I had other feelings about that. And I have, as you can tell, I struggle with it now because I want to do the right thing. But I really wanted that chart. I want that in my house. It's a huge patriotic piece. It's my style. It's probably the only memorabilia that I ever wanted to stitch. Because honestly, they're beautiful patterns and beautiful stitching. I've seen them stitched up. They're just not my style. But she is. So we're going to stitch her up. And I'm thinking I'm going to get some thumbs down on that. But, you know, it is what it is. I can't make everybody happy all the time. And neither should anybody else. So I don't know. I guess I don't know how to think about that. And I'm afraid of getting flack about that. I just baited not showing it. But, you know, I've always been kind of real here, and this is the way it is. And I do really try to do the right thing. When that chart, a copy of that chart became available to me, I snatched it up. I'm not going to lie. Without question. Didn't think much about it until afterwards. And I wish they would reprint the chart, because even now that I have a copy, if they did reprint the chart, I would buy the chart. Because I feel strong. I work a full-time gig nursing. I also work a quilting and sewing business. So I know what it is to support the artist, and I do believe in that. So if they reprint it, trust me, I will buy it, even though I already have a copy. So I hope everybody's okay with that. Let me show you some haul, and then I will show you my one knitting whip. Yeah, and then I'll be done for today, and then I can go stitch. I'm sorry it's been so long since my videos, and I can't even promise it won't happen again, to be quite honest. You know? And I forgot to bring my phone. I did get some electronic charts. I'm trying to remember. It was a Lindy Stitches one. Broken Things. Broken Things? I bought that chart. And it's electronic. It's on my phone, and I left my phone upstairs, so I'm not going to be able to show you. But I did buy that chart. I also went to my local needlework shop, and I got another chart that I really wanted. I wouldn't call it a unicorn, but I had been really wanting this chart. So I got Bobbing for Pumpkins by Brenda Gervais. I just like it. I don't know why. I've liked it since the housewives were stitching it. Very cool. I was happy to get that. And I saw this one. Plum Street Samplers Wintertide Friends. Look at those stockings. They are 40 wide by 120 high. And they are stitched on 40 count Old Town Blend. And I have some 40 count. And I think I'm going to stitch them on my 40 count. But aren't those cute? I would like to stitch a whole mess of those. And give them away for Christmas presents. Not like I'm going to get them done for Christmas. And I did get some of the threads for that. I got Weeks Dye Works, Gentle Arts. I got some of the threads for those. So I'm just going to show them like that. Mainly because I like the called for. I'm sorry, that's not for the stockings. That's for Bobbing for Pumpkins. That's this one. Amy, get your stuff together. This is stitched on. I didn't even look. What is this stitched on? 32 count straw linen by Weeks Dye Works. And it's 12 5/8 by 9 7/8. And I probably would finish it into a pillow. Kind of like that. I may get some velvet from my local needlework shop and finish it like that. The other thing I got from my local needlework shop was from Lila's Studio. This is Halloween Quaker. You guys have seen this a lot on Instagram. I love the Quakers. I've really gotten into them as of late. And I'm normally not a Halloween girl, but I like this one. I'm actually getting into Halloween more. I thought I wasn't a Halloween girl, and I think I am now. But I really like that. I also downloaded, I think I might have told you this last time, maybe not. Long Dog Samplers had a free chart called Pandemic. It was free for download for a week. I downloaded that. I also have a hank of silk floss. I totally lost my words there for a second. Silk floss coming, should be here in the next few weeks. Don't know if I plan on starting those yet. I'd like to get some things finished, and I have a lot of big girls started. So my concentration right now is Christmas and fall stitching, because obviously right now I'm not going to get anything done for summertime, because we're in summer now. So all my summertime and not fall Christmas related stitching has gone to the wayside right now, including Emily's house, which I'm kind of missing. I may have to pull that back out, but we'll see. Let me get some finishes under my belt. I did place an order with Lindy Stitches as well. She got some 36 count earthen in from Picture This Plus. So I ordered a piece from her. I am really liking the 36 count. I think 36 count is, I remember in my early Flosstubes telling you guys I would never stitch on 36 count or higher. And now I have 40 count in my stash. I got a magnifying light, as I told you guys. It has changed my stitching like you wouldn't believe. That and the scroll frames. I absolutely love 36 count. I actually love stitching 36 count 1/2 in my hand. It's working out well for Emily's house. Yeah, I don't know, my stitching's just evolving. But anyway, I got a 18 by 27 piece of this earthen, which I absolutely love it. I don't know if this lighting is going to do it justice. Probably not, because I struggle with that. But it's just really pretty. Really, really pretty. So that is going in my stash. I don't have anything designated for this right now, but I might. It's a beautiful piece of linen. And when Lindy Stitches sent it, she sent it to me with a little chart. Look at that drawing. So she sent me that, and she sent me a cross-stitch label, which I so appreciate that. I don't stitch my initials in the year in my cross-stitch. I know I should. And I think about this every time I finish a piece. You should go back and put your initials in the year in. I just don't. But these things would be cool for the back of my finished piece, FFOs. So I might have to start figuring out how to do these, or ordering some. This is a sticker, so it would go back on the back of a frame piece probably. But you could do the same kind of concept for your flat folds. You could do, yeah. So thanks, Stephanie. I appreciate it. Absolutely love. It was quick service, quick shipping. I love the note. I keep. Okay, this is how geeky I am. I keep these notes. I hang them up on my pegboard back there. I have a thank you note from the housewives, and I've got that hung back there on my pegboard. I will keep this, and this will go on my pegboard as well. I'll probably stitch the dang turtle, although not right now, because he's cute. He'd be a cute small, you know, just like it's put there, like a little scissor fob. That just gave me an idea. But anyway, yeah, that's all my stitching for this week. I do have 1,000,001 whips I'm not showing them all to you all the time because honestly I'm not working on them all the time. I am very focused in on some things right now to get them done. And then I will try to stay focused after that. So now I have a knitting project. So if you don't like knitting and you don't want to stay, it's just one project. And I'm going to show it to you real quick, so just bear with me. I'm making slow progress on my sock. It's a cuff, and I have, I don't know, I didn't bring a measuring tape, like, I don't know, it's probably 3 inches. Have to get to 6 inches, and then I can start the heel flap. I started these with DPNs, double pointed needles, and I've now got it on a tiny circular needle, which is making it, which is something that Caroline from Off the Grid Needle Arts suggested to do, and it goes a little faster, and I have to agree with her. I think it does. Let me knit a stitch while I chat a little bit. I tend to do this at night if my eyes are tired from stitching. I will knit either this, my Afghan, or the scarf I'm working on. Or if I need to work on something that I don't have to concentrate on too much, this is perfect. But I'm excited. I should measure this. I think this is probably 2.5 inches, maybe 3. So just a few more inches and I can start my heel. And I'm excited. I'm knitting this on Forbidden Fiber Co. yarn. This is sock yarn. I forget. The tag should be in here, but I don't see it. It came with these two coordinating colors, the orange and the blue. They were a Beauty and the Beast bundle. And I think it's like any other sock yarn. It's 80. See, I'm so inept at this. But anyway, I'm trying to see if I have other DPNs in there because I only see one, and there should be like 5 of them in here. Maybe I took them out and put them somewhere. I don't know. They've got to be in here somewhere. That would be bad if I didn't remember where I put my needles. But there it is. That's my sock progress. This is in a bag that I made. The pattern is a tutorial from Eric Arndt from Confessions of a Homeschooler. So if you want the bag, the drawstring bag, I think she calls it a drawstring squishy bag. That's over on her YouTube channel. It is Confessions of a Homeschooler. And I think, guys, that's all I have today. A hot mess as usual, huh? And look at that. It's only 11:45, so I can set this to upload. I'm not going to do some editing today because I really want this video to go up so I can move on to other things. Thanks for joining me today. Thank you for supporting my channel. I've gotten some new subscribers as of late, so thank you for that. I do appreciate that. And I promise I will try to be a little more regular on here. And we'll see. Sometimes I have to say that if I don't feel I have enough content to show you, I don't feel like coming on. But on those weeks, I really should do like a Stitch with Me and just have kind of do a YouTube live where you're stitching with me. So if you have interest in that, definitely comment below. Maybe it's every other week we do like a regular Flosstube, and every other week we do a Stitch with Me. So let me know what you'd like. I'd appreciate it. You guys have a happy Independence Day. Go spend some time with your family, eat some good food, and I'll see you next time. Peace.